So you've identified some things you liked about this presentation. When you watched this particular TED Talk, you noticed that there were things that you liked that weren't just the content or the words. And it wasn't just the way that she said the words as if they were written, but you liked what she did with her body, with the images, when she, tried different clothes on, all of this extra stuff. And today we're going to be talking a little bit more about how to use all of your body, all of your voice as part of the public presentation that you're going to be giving later this week. So all of this is called collectively paralinguistics. So, this marker's no good. Para is one of these prefixes. It means beyond. So you can have paranormal, beyond what's normal. So a vampire is beyond what's normal, right? You might have paramilitary, people who are beyond the military, who have guns anyway and things like that. Paralegal is somebody who isn't a lawyer, they don't have a degree, but they're able to help out. So paralinguistic, what do you think that might mean? Beyond language, right? So beyond language. So that might be things like the emphasis of your speech, gestures you use, tone, things like that. So I want to give you an example. So emphasis. Here's a sentence. The girl is not his sister. What does it mean if I say the girl is not his sister? Yeah, his sister right here, right? So it's emphasizing the girl is not his sister, but it might be her sister or his sister, but it's not his sister. How is this different if I say something like the girl is not his sister? Yes, it might be his girlfriend, it might be his mother, probably if we're saying girl, his girlfriend is not his sister. That's the emphasis. So just by changing my voice, this sentence can mean two very different things. Another way that you can employ these paralinguistics is our gestures. And I always get very self-conscious when I teach this. I become very aware of my hands. But you can use your hands in a lot of different ways. One thing you can do with your hands is pantomime or act out what it is that you're describing. So if I say, the fish was this big, that doesn't mean anything, right? The fish was this big. But if I say, the fish was this big, this gives you an idea of how big the fish was. The fish was this big. So we can use our hands to demonstrate. I like to throw football, right? So if you're throwing a football, it demonstrates it, it acts it out. And many of you do this when you study English, right? Or another language. You might act out your entire order for breakfast. You say, I want eggs, I want bacon, and you have to act it out in juice. And that's one way that we use gestures. Even if you're speaking with somebody who speaks the same language perfectly with you, you might choose to use your hands to demonstrate the fish was this big. Other times, you also might use your hands for other reasons to create variety and emphasis. So if I say, it's not his sister, right? I'm using my hands to demonstrate. You can say, it's possible, but I would never guess, right? So you're using your hands to say, I'm open, or no, no, no. Now, just a little note on that. Not every gesture means the same thing in every culture. So for how many of you, this means yes? Okay, everybody in the class. But in Bulgaria, this means no, and this means yes. It's different, right? Many of you are from Asian countries, China, Korea. When somebody, you want somebody to come over, what do? Yeah, you do this. Come here. In America, we mostly do this. Come here. So it's very, very different. And so you want to be careful. Sometimes you can do something, like you said, like pointing is very, very rude in some cultures. Different hand signals that for us might just be light and fun can be very offensive in another culture. So be aware of that stuff. But there are some things that are paralinguistic that every culture is going to find difficult, especially in a public presentation. So I'm going to model some of these, and when you see what I'm doing wrong, go ahead and shout it out. So as soon as you know what it is, shout it out. Okay, this is my speech. Here I go. Language is the first concern in teaching communicative competence. Grammar. Okay, I'm too quiet, right? I'm too quiet. So when you give your public speeches, some of you may think, oh, I'm talking normal for if I'm talking with a friend. But you're not talking with a friend, right? You have to talk to the people way in the back of the class. So you might want to practice speaking a little bit louder. Maybe you have your friend actually come with you to this classroom or any other empty class and go sit in the back. And then when they go sit in the back, you speak as loud as they need for them to hear you. So, okay, too quiet. How about this? I'll speak louder. Language is the first concern in teaching communicative competence. Grammar, pronunciation, listening, comprehension, and speech are all too fast. Yes. When you give your speeches, many of you will speak faster than you did when you were at home because you get a little nervous. So instead, practice speaking really slow so that the people who are listening to you can understand it before you move on to the next thing. It can be very difficult to always be trying to catch up to what the speaker is saying. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Ready? Language is the first concern in teaching communicative competence. Grammar, pronunciation, listening comprehension, and speech are all vital skills needed. Right. Okay, there's a lot of things wrong here. Yeah. So you're all right. I was being very still. I didn't move my eyes, I didn't move my hands, I didn't move my body. I was very motionless. Also, my voice was motionless. My voice is what we might call monotone, and this is another one of those words. So monorail is one rail. Monogamous is one relationship. So monotone is just one tone, like musically. And if you're just on one tone, it's very boring. So just like how gestures and moving your body can make it feel more natural, your voice too goes up and down as you have a normal conversation with people. So do try to use that variety when you give your presentations. Okay, we're going to watch one more video, and it's going to give us some ways to warm up our voice, to make our body more comfortable and loose. And we're going to go through the exercises together as a class, so don't be too shy about getting up and making some funny noises.